Okay guys, what I went ahead and did off camera is I went ahead and took that saw and I cut about that deep, right? Not too much, just enough to outline the bottom. That way when we start carving over it, when we start rounding the bottom of his chin and his back, we don't have to worry about this. And I think I may have failed to mention the reason I use a longer block and I don't just use this is because it gives you something to hold on to. You know, even if you were working with a 3-inch block, you still got something to hold on to. And if you're a real green, fresh, new beginner, you're going to want a handle to hold on to. This is, especially in like a 1x1 or 3/4 by 3/4, or even 1.25 by 1.25. That's an awfully small little block, and that's a really sharp knife, so keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to move on. Sorry, putting my... Alright. What we're going to do now is we're going to stop cut. We're going to take this and we're going to put straight in. And we're going to come back. Now, this is his ear portion. Small cuts, okay? Be really delicate right here. Once you get them blocked out, this basswood's pretty tough. But if you try to go too hard too fast, you're gonna make, like, it'll I'm telling you, to come off. So just make real small cuts like so. And we're gonna block out the top of his feet on both sides. In. I'm gonna come down just a fuzz. See? Not big cuts, just little cuts. We're just trying to block them out as of right now. Later on, we'll define them. Okay. Now, if you have a gouge, it can be utilized right here. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Yeah. Alright. Now, my handles. Anyway, we're just going to use the blade. That's another really good thing about these. Now, from... Okay. From the side of this nose right here to this ear, you can either... Two ways you can do it. You can lightly stop cut it with your knife. Okay, my storage failed, so I have to do this again. I believe I was saying that what you do is you run a light stop cut. Don't go too deep here. Run a light stop cut up the side of the nose, right? Then you're gonna hold it, and you're gonna use this arc in action with this push cut that's kind of a slice, and you're gonna come next to the nose and take that chip out. But we're going to continue to take that same angle all the way back. In essence, what we're doing is making that nose stand off the face. Okay? See that? Like so. All the way back to our ear line here. I got into it just a little bit. Now, if you have a gouge, just lightly stop cut, and I swapped out. I'm going to use this one, and just bring your gouge and go straight up, and it's going to do the same thing for you. Okay? Like I say, folks, you don't have to have all these nice fancy tools to be able to get going. But if you truly get bit by this wood carving bug, this whittling bug, you're gonna want to buy these tools. Okay, this is a 3/8 number 7 Ramelson, 3/8 number 7, and this is a 1/4 inch V tool by Ramelson. You know, these are literally $20 tools. So it's 20, 40, 65. You can make your own straw. This can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. And so have fun with it. But don't go out wasting a whole bunch of money on junk tools. If you'll go to our Facebook page on a pinned post, there's 3 pinned posts. There's 2 about experienced wood carvers that are on there that are helping us, and there's the very top one is a welcome post, and I put all the links down within that post for you guys to be able to go. Now, I don't get any kickback off these links. It's just where I go to buy my stuff. And if those links are good enough for me to buy my stuff, I have no problem sending everyone else over there. So, don't waste your money on junk. Don't buy all this stuff off of eBay that says 12-piece carving kit for $39. No, you're not going to be getting what you want, I promise. Okay, we're going to move on. So we have the feet blocked out. We have the nose kind of set in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work on these ears a little bit. And what we're going to do is, my daughter picked up my Sharpie. So I can do this with a Sharpie, that way everybody can see it better. In essence, what we're going to do is we're going to come, you want the tip of the ear to be pointy, okay? And we're going to come like so. Okay? And we're going to do that on both sides. I'm trying not to make this tutorial too long, but I don't want to miss any steps and be like, well, mine don't turn out like his, because there's a lot of that on here. There's a lot of good teachers, but those teachers don't always take in what the viewer can see. And we're gonna work in a rounded fashion, okay? We're going to work this way, come down the center, and work that way. Right? See what I'm getting at there? Then we're going to take our tip of our knife, and I love that little pendulum cut. It's when you get around brittle wood, it's a very secure cut, as long as you got a good sharp knife, because you're less likely, and if you get in there and you just, you're going to break the tip of that ear off every time. But if you'll work with just the tip and take really nice controlled cuts, you'll be fine. And what we're going to do is create that. Okay? We're going to do it on both sides. So in essence, what we're doing is we're coming in here and we're giving some more depth to the top of those feet, but we're carving in the shape of the ear as well. And we will go back in and redefine it as a short enough ear, like so, here in a little while. Okay? This is a really fun project. I always get really good feedback from the public when they see this little guy finished. They're like, oh, that thing's so cool. How did you do that? It's so little. Well, this is how I do it. I leave it attached to a block of wood where I can hold on to it. We'll round here. We'll work in this circular fashion and round it back. And we're coming all the way down to the bottom of the foot here. I'm sorry, the bottom of the ear, the top of the foot. Okay? Like so. And then we already got our curve set right here. It goes from center, and we just kind of taper it. And the taper can be as short as you want it to be. It can be as long as you want it to be. You know, it's, you do it 2 or 3 of these, and you'll really start understanding what's going on. Okay. It always takes me 2 or 3 of these kind of projects before I can really get a grasp on them. God, I don't know how many of these things I've carved. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to block in the feet. If you have a V-tool, right here's a perfect place to use it. Take your V-tool, line it up on the front of your foot, and just push down, because we've already stop cut this, right? See, our knife fits down in there. So we've already stop cut it. So use the tool to help speed things up for you, if you have one. If not, okay, that's how you do it with a V-tool. If not, you just use your knife, go straight in, turn it around, and then just run right down next to it and alleviate that chip, like so. Okay? Straight in, come back down, and alleviate that chip. Okay? And now what we're gonna do, in essence, we're gonna start rounding his belly out like this. Okay? But it's really not his belly. It could be his belly if you wanted to put a beard in him. We're not gonna put a beard in this one. The beard's the easy way to go, and I'm wanting to show you how to create facial features. I think 90% of a presentation for a carving is the expression on the face, and you can achieve that. You can really do it. Okay. See? So what we got going here? And we're going to do the same thing in the back. Just because we've already used that little saw and cut around it, we're just going to feather it on back. See? And now it's starting to become its own independent piece. It's actually a carving on top of that square stick now. Okay? We're not cutting it free just yet, but we're defining its lines. Okay? Alright. We're just setting some parameters. Okay? Setting the parameters to this. Okay. How much time I got? 1 minute. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and continue over into part 3. And we're going to put the nose in, the mouth in, and the hairline and the hat in on part 3. I hope I can get all that done in time. We'll see you there.